everybody, so I just witnessed the 420 Starlink launch. It's now separated out, but it looks like just basically a long string moving across the sky. I was able to catch some video and some photos, which I'm going to share with you right now. Bit of a jabber tonight, but yeah, I don't know, I raced out here, I was like, oh cool, let's see it. And I was able to see it, videotape it, so it was quite bright. However, as it passed across, it got dimmer and dimmer. But yeah, from an astrophotography standpoint, yeah, I could definitely track them in the sky and see them and be like, oh, look, there's the line of them moving across the sky. It was not hard to find, although you will notice that there are some other satellites and things moving around the sky. So once it's sort of dark, it's no brighter than other stuff. The problem is that it's a lot of stuff. Once it sort of breaks up from its single train into those streaks that you keep seeing. But anyhow, so here we are tonight. So people have different opinions on if it's good, bad, if the good outweighs the bad. I'm not really going to get into that. However, I will say that it's sort of neat to watch them as they do go up. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. So it's kind of neat to watch and see. However, I'm like, giant telescope for imaging. So I'm hopeful that it's not going to have all these little satellites go across my imaging train. I know I'm able to like work them out to a certain extent, but they are a little annoying, and they are getting more and more prevalent, especially wide field. With this scope, not so much. It's a very small. Basically, it's taking a picture about the size of the moon in the sky, whereas with the wider scopes, I'm noticing there's just lines everywhere sometimes, and you're just like, okay, I guess it's Starlink. On to what we're doing tonight. So tonight I have the Edge HD set up, and I'm going to be going galaxy hunting. It is April, which is still galaxy season. The Milky Way is rising behind me, however it still is some trees and stuff, and it will be a while. So basically galaxies, which is why I have this big bad boy here. I have it set up with the Celestron OAG with guiding, and my Nikon Z6, which I'm currently using because I don't actually have a dedicated astro camera. The Z6 actually works pretty well in the winter and here in the spring. It's still pretty cool out here. However, as it comes to the summer, a dedicated cooled astro camera would definitely perform better, but I don't have one. So I will continue to use the Z6 until such time as I'm able to afford a astro camera, which, yeah. Anyhow, I do find it works quite well until about 15 degrees Celsius. When you start reaching like 20 degrees Celsius at night, it starts to have a lot more noise that flats and other stuff like that you start to have to require. And I've been having trouble getting darks with the Z6. And the reason for it is because it is uncooled, which means that as the temperature changes in the night, the dark current changes. And up where I am, 3-4 degree change at night is not unheard of. So you end up getting this sort of dark current change, which means that your darks don't necessarily work as well as you might want. So it's something to consider, especially here in the summer months in the Northern Hemisphere. It can get hot. 40 degrees is not unheard of during the day, which means that at night it could be 20, 25, like almost upwards to 30 degrees. And at that point, it's hot. But it's difficult to use the Z6. Before this, I had the Lumix GH4, and that's what I'm recording this on right now. It works quite well, as you can see, but from an astro camera, after about 5 degrees Celsius, the noise is just completely unacceptable. It works really well at -15. Once you sort of pass 0 degrees, the performance really drops off. So, a bit of a diatribe, but yeah, that's sort of what I'm up to right now. So we're going to go galaxy hunting with this bad boy and see what we're able to get. I'm hoping to get at least one good one, maybe two tonight. I'm not a big fan of sitting on something for 4 or 6 hours straight. I like to generally try to get 1 or 2 targets. That way, if I do decide that I like something and I want to try to go for more of it, I can get a general idea of how many more hours I need on the second night, and I can sort of plan it out with how many hours of cloud I have, or how many hours of clear sky I have, so I can then say, okay, I'm going to do this target and get it in the second night, and then I can compile the 2 nights of data. So that's what I'm up to. We'll see which one I end up going. It's going to be a bit of a hunt and peck. There's still a couple comets that are flying around up here in the north. I'm tempted to see if I can find them, but I'm like, it's a nice clear night. It's a full night. I think I'd rather go and do some imaging rather than try to find what is becoming more and more very dim comets. And yeah, apparently they're breaking up and a bunch of other stuff. So we'll see what the night unfolds. I'm going to start my imaging routine here, and yeah. So I ended up actually imaging something completely not galaxy related. I found out on my Stellarium app that the Crescent Nebula was actually able to be imaged in the east. And here's a great example of why all these extra satellites are sort of a bad thing for astrophotographers. As you can see here on this picture, there is no less than 5 satellite strikes on the image, which is actually smaller in the sky than the moon. And this is over a period of about 4 or 5 hours. Not the end of the world, but it's one of those things of like, oh, okay, definitely was not expecting a quick demo of how this is a problem with all these extra satellites. Now, I don't know which ones are Starlink or not, but this just gives you an idea. Now, obviously, with processing, you could actually have it where you get a result like this, where all the satellite streaks are actually removed. However, it is a bit of an annoyance because it does require an extra step, but also in longer exposures, because this night was actually shorter, you actually end up losing quite a number of subs and data that can be an issue when you actually have a direct strike right in the center of your target, like I happen to have gotten here. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.